There we go. Okay, so thanks so much for joining. And like I said, if someone from your team wasn't able to attend, this will be posted to Op Central later today. So keep an eye out. And if you need anyone invited from your team, that is also something I can help out with. So we'll crack right in. So this is a little agenda rundown of today, and I did send this out on email, but we're going to go over some general updates and then go into the December digital results that came in. And then I'm going to give a little rundown of the United We Ride Challenge. There is 1.5 weeks left, so we haven't wrapped it up completely, but we're almost at the finish line. And then we'll go into the nitty-gritty of the February campaigns, which will roll out soon. And then we're going to do a really quick social media cadence and recommendation kind of webinar to round this call off, just to, give you some pointers into the social media world. And then if you have any questions, feel free to ask them at the end. Also, it is a smaller call, so if you want to interject, feel free to do so. So as you all know, and Abby would have reached out if you guys are with LT Network, but any studios that are with LT currently will need to be moved to a new vendor starting February and March of this year. So if you haven't already, please reach out to us and we will make sure to do our due diligence if you haven't already. And we can do any introductions you need, but I think everyone is good to go for the most part. But if you have any questions, let us know. And also we brought this up on the operations call. So exponential presentations from conference were released. So I will be adding this to Op Central for you guys to look at, see what they presented for the new year, what different things are in motion or what you guys should expect. So once those are loaded in, we'll send those out. And on Friday, me and Abby will be sending out those really bulky emails where we have all the content released into your digital stack, all the assets are available in digital stack, best practices for the month of February, what the initiatives are, and any relevant links that are important to know. And then Bryce went over this a little bit, but in regards to retail, for the month of February, we're going to be offering 15% off and a 30-day credit terms for any retail purchase. So if you have any questions about that, let us know. Send an email to Candace, but keep that in mind for the month of February.
Sorry, that's 15% off the retail price.
So Bryce, can you expand a little?
Wholesale pricing. So the idea is that we want to do a retail push in March with March Madness. It's kind of one of those really strong months of the year for retail sales. So we're going to do a wholesale backed sale in February so that studios can start preparing and get ready to launch that merch in March. I think taking things like videos, itemizing what stocks you guys have, and then displaying that through social media is a great way of kind of presenting that and driving some sales of the merch as well.
Okay, so it's 15% off wholesale. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
And what will be the promo for March for the retail to get people to buy? Or is it?
It's at a studio level, you guys can specify what you want to do. So it might be different depending on the items that you have. There might be set items that you want to discount more heavily to kind of clear through them, or there might be some, kind of more, better selling stock that you wouldn't discount as heavily. So it's really up to the studios to kind of specify what they want to do based on the merch that they have. But yeah, I think, at a minimum, like a 20% sort of discount on all stock, and then you might go a little bit heavier on those harder to move items.
What about new stock? We can sell all our old stock, but then we might have an empty shop.
Yeah, we're still working on that. So we've still got plenty here though up at head office. So I'd imagine that even if we do sell through some of it, there's still stuff that we can replace with as well.
I've got some new logos from the US, so now we just need to figure out what we're going to put them on. So we're getting there. I got to keep asking Candace where she's at.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So this is just a rundown of our 2025 approved vendor list. So we have Functional Digital, Orange Digital, Web Engage, and FFM. So if you have any questions, like I said, reach out to me and Abby. We can do any introductions. If you have questions about specific vendors, let us know. But yeah, this is a list of our approved vendors for 2025. And then we went over this on our operations call, but we like to give a little snapshot of how all the studios are performing, just so if you have any questions or want to, see who someone's with, this is a nice little snapshot to dig in a little bit. But I'll pause on this. Some of you might have already seen it, obviously. And then also this will be available in Op Central after the call. So like I said, we're almost rounding out our United We Ride Challenge. We have 1.5 weeks left, which is still plenty of time to knock out those rides. And studio-wide, we almost have 100 registrants. And then I like to highlight the really high numbers at studios. So crazy enough, we have members who have hit 39 and 40 rides at CycleBar Currambine. So that's amazing. And then CycleBar Fitzroy and Subiaco, there is one member at each of those studios that has hit 27 rides. So if you want me to send you these results for your studio specifically, let me know. Also, it's nice if you want to do a little wrap-up party, that's fun to do, or, prizes that were incentivized for the challenge. Obviously, that information is pertinent to pick that winner. So let me know if you have any issues pulling this data on your own, and I can send this to you.
I'm going to be an absolute pain only because we've just taken over. Did we go into that? Did Tony and Kim, when did it start? Like, we're obviously not in it then, so I don't need to worry.
There's probably a handful of people that had signed up, because what we do, we make the challenges available to all studios unless you request not to be opted in. So I can send you what results I have for Crow's Nest just so you can take a look. Yeah. And I'll loop you in, Bryce, just so you can see too.
Cool.
They weren't really pushing it from my memory, probably with the transition, but we have in May Battle of the Bars, which is a really fun competition. So definitely get involved in that. And we'll give you plenty of notice and time to promote that. And then February campaigns. So obviously we're almost at the end of this month, and we'll be getting you guys ready to go to promote the month of love. So for membership promotion, this is all of February that we will be promoting this. It is a Valentine's themed sales package, so a 3-class pack. And then on the right, you can see all the different assets we'll have available and unlocked for you guys to use. And then our closeout end of month promotion will be join and get 2 weeks free. So that will be a 2-day long sale just to create urgency like usual. And that's from the 26th to the 28th of February. And then for all of Q1, we are running the same referral promotion. So refer a friend and get three free classes. And that person, if they do join, will get a $25 retail credit. And then some ideas we like to provide you with. Obviously, it is a really loving month. There's a lot of fun things you can play up with the theme of Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day. We do have an overall theme of power couples, and that could be anything. Be creative in the studio. Maybe you want to have a day of the month of February where you have a little celebration after class. You could do nibbles and drinks, whatever it may be. Oh yeah, hi Stu.
Hi. With these digital assets in here, whenever we do these type of promotions or even the United We Ride Challenge and things like that, is it possible ongoing to get some assets to go on the TVs in the studio as well? Because one of the second TV in our studio we like to use as a notice board. And a lot of the assets that we get, just because of the size, they're designed for social media. They're just not big enough and high resolution to go on the TV. So having things that we can just very quickly download and stick on the USB key and put up on that TVs would be really super helpful.
We can definitely request that moving forward. Does any other studios utilize that on their TVs?
Just to clarify, it's the TVs that are used in the community room and behind the front desk, not the TVs that are in the studio.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
No, we don't. But yes, I like that idea.
We just
So
need
does
some dimensions and like the resolution, Stu. If you know the resolution in terms of the quality or whatever, then we can specify that the designer does it properly.
Okay, I'll work it out.
But let's head down to Carambine, Abby. We'll head down to Carambine and get it from
Good
there.
idea. I like
Oh
it.
yeah.
There is one at the moment it is about the process of referring friends through the app on the phone. That works really well on the TV, but it's kind of like one of the only ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you
Good.
can find that and check what that is.
Does
Okay.
everyone have the same sorts of TVs?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if we figure out one, we've got them all. No worries. We'll come see you later, Catherine, and we'll measure some things.
And then
Thank you.
we'll look for that asset, that referral one that you said works well on the TV, and then Abby, we can send that to our designer. And then also just as a referral incentive, it's a good way to, have people bring a loved one or their partner. So maybe a designated night of the month of February, you can decide to do that. And then for themed rides, you can do something such as Power Couples of the Music World. There's a lot of creativity with February. So if you want any recommendations around that, let us know. But there will be lots and lots of assets for you guys to utilize. All right, so we're going to round off the call with a little bit of insight into social media recommended cadences and just, best practices or recommendations in general. So building your digital presence, in regards to benefits. So with, posting regularly and keeping it CycleBar related and in the brand standards, this will bring brand awareness in general. So on average, a prospect needs to see your brand or hear a message 7 times before they decide to act. So obviously, the more that they're seeing it, the more that their interest will peak. Obviously, with building trust, when someone hears about CycleBar from a friend or family, or they see an ad online, wherever it may be, they can go back to your socials to find out more. They're going to see which one's in their area, go on Instagram, Facebook, maybe even Google to see if there's one nearby them. So we really want your social media to paint a good picture of what they should expect and what CycleBar is all about. That could be the experience, obviously really highlighting your instructors at your studio, the community, how you foster that in your studio, the different celebrations you do for members at your studio, whatever it may be. All of that's super important to highlight. And then exposure to local audiences. So the more engagement on your post, the more likely it is to show up in the feed for non-followers. So always following back people, always responding to people in comments, tagging different members who are involved on your socials, celebrating people, even if it's not your post specifically, if someone's tagging your studio, commenting to them, just, showing the love in that way, that will bring a lot of attention to your different platforms. And then relatable and familiar. So obviously we are an international brand, but we still want to make personal connections with the local community. Community is at the backbone of CycleBar. It's really what we like to foster in each and every studio. And you can see that once you come into a studio, the community feel that people really, really love. So you can do this by using local photos and creating unique content where possible. So just making sure, pre or post class, or even just candid photos. Obviously, it's fun for instructors to get some content during their classes or maybe beforehand or after, whatever it may be. So get your team involved as well. This can be done in videos and reels. or just your own photos with different digital stack templates. So a lot of the digital stack templates, you'll see there is an option to upload photos. So that's where you can make it really personal to your studio. And obviously celebrating diversity and then connecting with local businesses and groups in the area.
Just on that, if you guys are looking for inspiration on some studios to follow, I think I've mentioned before, but studios out of the US like Rancho Cucamonga, it's a weird one to say, and Redlands are super active on their social media. They're one of the top performing studios in the brand. So I would definitely, it's the same ownership across the two studios. So follow them if you're looking for some inspiration. And also Culver City, who is owned by Steph, which I think a few people on this call might have spoken to previously. She is the #1 studio in the US. So just getting some inspiration from the studios on different posts, different things that they do. A lot of it is things that we are suggesting and kind of recommending as well. But if you're just looking for ideas on how to implement it, I think it's a handy way of seeing what they're doing. And a few things you'll notice is they're really big on their stories. They have like 8 to 9 stories a day, and then they're posting daily as well. So there's a lot happening through social media, and it just kind of creates that fun, vibrant, exciting place where people want to come in and try.
Definitely. Yeah. Stories are everything. Like reposting, people will tag you, just repost it, show the love. Also, if you have last minute spots available, that's really popular to do, get those bikes filled up, whatever it may be. So moving more into how to get, a stronger digital presence, how to do this. Obviously, 70% of it should be pre-planned content. We load your calendars with a month full of ideas and content. So we like to make it really easy and seamless for you guys. Obviously, if you are time poor, we want to be helpful in that regard. So that could be through different promotions, educational content, how to, what to expect, specific videos to film, first class free, etc. So there's a lot of different things you can do in that regards. And then 30% of it should probably be in the moment content. So that's just really organic stuff, clips from recent classes, staff moments, member moments, behind the scenes, memes, videos, song trends, anything that's popular with that day at hand, whatever it may be. And if you have any questions about that, reach out to me and Abby, and we can help you out with some creative things that you can throw into the mix on your platforms. And then also always keeping it aesthetic and appealing. There should be no reason that you're using Canva. We say this a lot. We have everything in Digital Stack. We like how it looks, how it should be displayed. There's no reason to be tinkering with your assets or adding unnecessary graphics. It's all in there. And like I said, you can put your own photos in. Everything's editable. So the text, you can make it what you want, just keeping within brand guidelines. So yeah, like we were saying, there are so many studios to get inspired by. And I know a lot of them are US accounts, but take inspiration, give it a little Aussie twist. There are a few others we did list. So CycleBar Gilbert, CycleBar NYC, and CycleBar Fort Collins. And then like Bryce said, CycleBar Rancho Cucamonga and Redlands, and then also Culver City. So take a look at those accounts and just, get some insight into what works for them and what seems to gain a lot of popularity. And then to end things off, these are some top tips in general. So make sure that you're posting a minimum of 3 times per week. I know that sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, with Digital Stack, you can plan things really easily. 3 times a week should be the bare minimum. And also just story posts are really important. So it could be a mix of static and story posts, also including more videos as reels or stories. This is the best way for people to get an idea of CycleBar, to see what the classes are all about, what to expect, what the experience is like, what the classes are like. So videos are super important with the CycleBar experience. And then also there's a really cool feature in Digital Stack. So you can go into your reporting tab and look at the best times to post for like day of time, or yeah, whatever day seems to get the most traction. Also demographic stuff, so such as male audience or female audience. So going into Digital Stack and really utilizing those reports to see what works best. And then also checking out your Digital Stack planner. So like I said, each month we are loading content in. So make sure that you are scheduling those things out. It's all there for you. The content is linked up. The captions are written out for you. So you can tinker it a little bit or just use it as is. There's a reason we put it in there so that, you know, your month is easily attacked and you can just utilize exactly what we're putting out there for you. And then plan out 2 to 4 weeks at the same time and make notes on what you want to post, and then make a shopping list of images that you need to get in order to make the most of that month at hand. So it's up to you how you want to go in. You can go in weekly to Digital Stack. You can go in bi-weekly. You have the ability to schedule out a month ahead content. So just, it's easier to just get it done. Also, if you do have a team member that is responsible for this, make sure you're delegating. If this is not your thing, that's totally fine. If there's someone on your team that loves to do this stuff, get them involved. It's just an easy way to, you know, get everyone involved in the social media aspect of things and make sure it's getting done. So just communicate with teammates and see what things they are responsible for, and making sure that they're hitting those targets for your social media platforms. All right, so that's the end of our CycleBar marketing call for January. Does anyone have any questions?
This might be a question for Bryce. So in early February, we're going to be doing a ride fest at Subiaco. And I remember when we talked about this before, Bryce, you talked about the ideal number of days to do it for. We were going to start on the Wednesday and finish on the Saturday or the Sunday. Which would you recommend we finish up on?
I think Sunday would be fine, given that you've only got the 2 or 3 classes on the weekends. Yeah, I think if you do like the full week, it just like draws out the process and people start to kind of fall off the cadence. So if you can kind of cram it in as quickly as you can, one, it shows that they can do classes consistently. So there's no reason that they wouldn't be able to join on something like unlimited or 2 classes weekly. But also it gives your sales team a lot of people to sell to in a very short period of time.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Well, good.
No more questions.
You guys are easy. We're finishing.
Can I ask Stu or Bryce, what is a ride fest? Sorry, totally new, will admit.
That's all good. So basically, we do things like a ride fest where we do 4 or 5 days of all free classes. And the idea is that we then advertise it to all of our existing leads that are in the system. And the idea that is, with it is we want to get them all into the studio in that period, and then obviously try and convert them after the classes. Kind of from experience and history, we see that you'll sell a few kind of day 1, not so much days 2 and 3, and then everything kind of happens at the end of the ride fest as people are getting to the end of being able to do the free ones. So it's something that we can explore for you guys. I think for the time being, let's get our feet on the ground and then tackle that at a later date.
Yeah, and as Bryce said, it's one of my experience is that one of the biggest objections that we get when somebody comes in to do their first class is, I've got to check my schedule. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to come in and do more classes in a week. And so if we open it up and they come in every day, it's like, okay, you've just proved you can do it.
Yeah.
Here's our unlimited membership.
This will work perfect for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good thing to do, but I think let's just understand what we need to be doing in the studio first, 100%, and make sure we have the team trained up before we launch anything like that. Cool.
All right, you guys, Thank you so much for attending, and I will get this call uploaded later today. And if you think of anything else, let us know. And like I said, me and Abby will be sending out that really meaty email on Friday this week, just ahead of February, so you guys feel really good to go.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a good day.
everyone.
Thanks.